What's up everybody, it's Robin Gaming here. So before I get into the video, I actually really quickly wanted to tell you that I'm pretty much going to be taking a break for 2 weeks. Going to be going on a holiday together with my girlfriend, with her dad as well. We're pretty much going to show him the entire country, you know, for the first time. The first time he's going to be visiting here. So I will simply not be, you know, very available over the next 2 weeks. But I did try to record like a couple of commentaries and just some quick, you know, cool videos I could do all in a row so that I've got them ready to be uploaded over these next 2 weeks. So I will still be uploading, just not in the same way that I have been for the last few months. So yeah, this is going to be my quick little holiday break, so I just wanted to quickly inform you on that. But what I actually wanted to talk about in this video is a quick little, I guess, interview that Shuhei Yoshida did. Of course, he's one of the big guys at PlayStation, pretty much responsible for you know, all of the exclusive games and stuff, right? And they asked him about, you know, what Sony's plans at E3 were. I think looking back at it now, of course, a lot of us walk away pretty disappointed from that Sony press conference. I mean, what they showed was awesome, but there was just so much that was missing, right? I've already talked about that quite a bit. I mean, where was The Last of Us Part 2? Where was Sucker Punch's new IP? Red Dead Redemption 2, you know, the new From Software game, whether it was a new IP or Bloodborne 2. We all had just these high expectations, and especially with PlayStation killing it for these last few years with their E3 conferences, a lot of us were simply expecting a little more than what we actually got, right? And so many have been asking, well, does that mean that Sony made some quick final like changes to that conference that meant that they weren't going to show as much as what they were originally planning to? Now, what Shuhei Yoshida himself pretty much says is that we have no plans to talk about, but there are things we have held. We chose not to show during this E3. Of course, there will be some more news coming out of our teams later this year. And I think, you know, many people were talking about this, what he said here, about the fact that yes, they did hold stuff back. Although I do want to say, this is not exactly the answer I myself was looking for, because let's be honest, of course there's going to be stuff they hold back. I mean, right now there are teams at Sony working on stuff that of course they aren't showing yet, because it's too early. So I think it's pretty obvious, of course, that they're always going to hold stuff back, and they're never going to show you absolutely everything of what they can show. I mean, they could have showed more Death Stranding if they wanted to. They could have showed you what Guerrilla is working on right now already as far as a Horizon sequel or something. Obviously, they're not going to do that because it's just too early, right? So I don't necessarily think this quote was that interesting, but you saw so many news articles like mention it and act like he was now admitting to the fact that they actually pulled stuff from the conference. That's not what he literally said. But this is what I mean, is that that's what I am personally the most interested about right now, is did Sony actually pull stuff from that conference? Because, you know, out of this list that I just mentioned with these 4 or 5 games they could have showed, why did they literally not show any of them? I mean, for some of them it really seemed like it was going to be obvious that they were going to be shown. And the way I really look at it is that you gotta imagine this was the year where we all thought Microsoft was going to kill it, let's be honest. Everybody expected that the Microsoft press conference where they were going to talk about the Xbox Scorpio, which is now of course called the Xbox One X, that was looking to be a beast, that was looking to be much more powerful than the PS4 Pro, and that they were hopefully also going to have a lot of games alongside that they haven't really been talking about. Many surprises that were apparently still left, we all thought. We thought they were going to kill it, and I can only imagine that being Sony, you would think that, well, we've got great competition this year, we have to show something too. Why not already show like a new Last of Us trailer? I mean, they could do that if they wanted to, they just chose not to. Why not show something from Red Dead Redemption? I know that, you know, Rockstar Games does not like to show up at E3 often, but then again, Sony has that marketing deal. I'm sure they could have something arranged. Why not reveal Sucker Punch's new IP? And even if it's, you know, once again, too early in development, you could have still showed a trailer, you get what I'm saying? They kind of did the same thing last year by showing a lot of stuff very early, like Spider-Man and Death Stranding and Days Gone maybe even. So Sony is used to doing this, you know what I mean? In that way, I personally think that I'm just wondering, is it actually possible that they held stuff back from that conference? Because with that great competition, I can only imagine that they would think they had to prepare a massive show with just lots to show that would easily make people think that the Xbox One X wouldn't matter that much. But of course, what we saw pretty much is that at the Microsoft press conference at E3, many people walked away disappointing, including me personally. I mean, the Xbox One X is still a great console, it looks like, and it's definitely, you know, a better console than the PS4 Pro as far as power power goes, but games-wise, a lot of it was still third-party or like timed exclusive, what they call launch exclusive, and apart from that, everything of course still comes out on PC that is actually, according to Microsoft, exclusive, right? So there just wasn't that much there. Many people walked away from the Microsoft press conference very disappointed, and so what I personally wonder is, did Sony actually change their show based on that? Did they see that, oh, we don't really have to perform that well to make people think we still had a great show compared to Microsoft, because what they showed was simply disappointing to a lot of people? The same thing, you know, it was pretty much the same question that we've asked ourselves at that E3 2013, 4 years ago, when Microsoft, you know, screwed up with their Xbox One announcement and everything like that, where they announced the $500 price tag, where there were rumors that Sony actually had a higher price tag in mind for the PS4, but then dialed that back to $400 simply because, because of Microsoft's fuck up, and because they saw the opportunity there that they didn't have to include the camera and they didn't have to do, you know, all these different things, so that they could actually sell the PS4 for a lower price point that helped them, let's be honest, almost win this generation. At least that was a very good first step, of course. So I just think this is super interesting. I just wonder if Sony actually replies to what happens the day before, or if this was simply already set in stone, this is what they were gonna show. But then I just wonder, like, well, they knew people were gonna walk away slightly disappointed from their show, but with the huge competition of the Xbox Scorpio, the Xbox One X, I would think that they would have prepared for something bigger than that. So anyway, I just want to know your thoughts in the comments, I guess. So let me know how you feel about all of this. Do you think it's possible that Sony actually adapts and changes their press conference based on what Microsoft showed the day before, or do you think that's just, you know, that's pretty much nonsense, and they what they showed now is what they were gonna show all along? So with that being said, thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.